Thank you for watching this Last Mile Profits video.
Dutch couriers are being photographed and actually harassed online. Has it gone too far?
Last Mile Profits is brought to you by Parcel Pending by Quadient.
Gary, when did you last go out on a courier route?
Oh my God, that's a terrible question. I've done it quite a few times. I did it when I was at Hermes back in the day. I did a round with Parcel Force. I've been a postman. I've been a Parcel Force driver. I've been a postman during the strike. Did it at UK Mail. I'm going to say I'm ashamed to say actually it's at least 14 years ago.
Well, I think I can beat you, but then, then again,
You're
in
well
terms
old.
of I've done as a consultant, but I always used to do it, honestly, every year, quite regularly when I was still working directly in the industry. And the reason you might say, why on earth is he asking me that? The reason is, it's a bloody difficult job, isn't it?
I think it's particularly difficult as a novice because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where you're going. And typically you don't do it where you live. You get dropped into some sort of windswept housing estate in a city you've only been to once before. So I think that compounds it. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is not a simple task, especially the rate they have to go at now.
And, the reason, Gary, that I'm talking about it is quite often you see in the internet, pictures of a courier damaging a parcel, doing something that's not great. You get loads of complaints. But I actually, and this isn't because we're in the industry, I think they're in many ways unsung heroes. The job they do is really tough. They start, in many cases, 5 or 6 in the morning to get to the depot to be able to pick up the parcels. It's a long, long day. It's not like it used to be where you ship a few parcels, you come back. The system, the process makes you basically go on and on and on and on. And I really don't think that people are always fair.
Well, I would struggle to disagree. I mean, I think there are some terrible couriers out there that really don't do the industry a lot of favors, but they are a tiny, tiny, tiny minority. And the vast majority of these people are working incredibly hard and quite often on not for huge reward.
Yeah, and I think maybe, and this isn't for the industry people who know it all, but for people that sometimes are observing and feel really upset with what couriers are doing, I think it's important to understand that to-door courier, if he's in an urban area and with a company that really is quite demanding, Gary, he's going to be doing about 150 plus parcels a day if it's home delivery.
Well, it used to be back when I did a courier round, I would ask them what's the most you've ever done in a day at peak or whatever. And you might hear 200, 210. But to be honest with you, if you're driving a white van, that probably is becoming your norm. You might even be doing 2 or 3 rounds in off-peak season to keep that number up to make a living. But I think a couple hundred parcels a day is not that unusual anymore, door to door. We've had recordings of when we've talked about the huge volumes you can get into a parcel locker and the density advantage that gives you. We have to talk about that briefly before we get into it. But door to door, 200 is a big number.
And what's behind that 200? If you think about it, the guy or girl in most cases has to go to the depot in the morning, quite often load up the parcels themselves. Sometimes they're fortunate they're loaded on the van. They have to go through traffic, find a place to park, hope that if it's a door delivery, hope that the customer's at home, hope that they're not going to have to wait too long for the customer to come down. Sometimes have a collection where the customer's not going to be ready. Gary, returns are an absolute nightmare, aren't they? So, when you think about it, this 200 is a really, really onerous task. And a lot of the guys and girls will be coming back sort of 6, 7 in the evening, whatever the sort of the maximum cutoff that's allowed.
Yeah, I think unfortunately it does sometimes drive poor behavior. There is a growing evidence of sort of drop and go, put the parcel on the doorstep, take a photograph, tap on the door and leg it. That is happening not as a norm, but more and more where people are doing that. But I think it's just a manifestation of the pressure, the drivers and the couriers are put under. If you look at, even on LinkedIn, people have suddenly felt entitled. And I use the word, it's one of my favorite hate words, is entitled to complain about their courier in a professional forum, right? Not even on social media, and try to sort of shame a courier or the company into doing something special for them to help them out. There will be incidences. And these organizations are huge now. I think who I'm doing a bit of work for now, did something like 900 million parcels last year through 30,000 couriers. You are going to get the odd one that goes wrong. If only 1 in a million goes wrong, there's still 900 that need some sort of intervention. So the numbers are massive. But overall, I think we should be really proud of the service that's given by these organizations. All of them work so hard.
So I don't know if it happens in the UK, but in Poland, it's not now when we're filming this, but we have a courier day. So, like Mother's Day, Father's Day, we have a courier day.
Is there a Polish state-owned greeting card company? Because I'm convinced that most of these days are invented by Hallmark cards to try and flog £4 bits of folded cardboard. Has the Polish government bought out Hallmark cards in Poland?
No. This is not a Hallmark event. Actually, I wouldn't be surprised if this wasn't actually kicked off by my old company, Masterlink Express, which is now DPD Poland, if anyone doesn't know. But no, Gary, I think this will be good because we've got a lot of really hardworking guys and girls out there. Perhaps we can ask our viewers if you had good examples of where a courier's done something really good for you, where they've gone, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to use this pun, they've gone the extra mile, then share it with us. Maybe Gary, and I know I've put you on the spot because I've not prepared you, but can you think of any example where something really unusual happened in a good way, where a courier helped out?
I think there are lots of examples like this, particularly from my time at Royal Mail. You would always hear stories of how the postman, because they know typically this is where they know the community they're serving, they know the round, they know the individuals, where they've knocked on a door and normally there's a quick answer hasn't been there, and they've been able to call a doctor or an ambulance and help. Lives have been saved by these people, quite literally. And knowing when someone's moved house, or knowing when someone's mentioned they're going on holiday, not leaving a parcel out. There are millions of these interactions that probably happen every single day, but people don't go onto social media to say how brilliant it was that day, because they expect it, they get used to it. This need to have a negative voice is a manifestation of the modern world, and these complaints get amplified by social media, and I think that it's very, very unfair sometimes.
Well, Gary, let's do something nice then. So please, if anyone has an example of where a courier, or actually we should say this as well, postie, because posties are doing parcel jobs as well now. So if you've got an example of something really great that's been done by your postie or your courier, share it below. We'd love to see it. And we'd encourage people to really understand, particularly at peak, this is a really tough job. And sometimes a smile or a good word can really go a long, long way.
Well, the final thing I want to say is, I feel really bad. I hadn't thought about how long it was I'd been out on a round. If someone is watching and they're a postman or a courier and they'd like to invite me to come out with them for the day on the round, I'll pay for lunch. But I genuinely would like to do that again, because this experience is very important. We can only talk knowledgeably about things we experience firsthand, in my opinion, and it's been too long. So get in touch with me through this medium if
my words, if you want a free lunch from Gary, this does not happen very often. You know who to call. Gary, looking forward to some photos from your day out on a postie or courier route. Really pleasure talking. This was a really good one. Hoping everyone will enjoy it, and please comments and pictures and videos below.
Gary, I was looking at the subscriptions and realized that a huge number of our audience actually don't subscribe to watch our videos.
Really? That's outrageous. It's a bit like watching the BBC without your TV license. How can we keep it free if people aren't subscribing and letting us know they want more of this content? It's ridiculous.
And on top of that, if they're not subscribed, they don't get information about the latest hot episode where you can make one of your witty jokes and we can talk about something that is really important for our industry.
If I knew that a single act like that would make sure I got maximum time taking the mickey out of you, I'd be hitting subscribe in a heartbeat.
Well, look, so here we have it. Please, everyone, if you haven't subscribed yet, this is your opportunity. Click right now. The button should be there, or maybe there. Do it now and have it done.